We are officially back on track with the day. I love this new lipstick. This is a retro matte lipstick from MAC in Young Attitude. I got it when I was in Amsterdam. It's like a really dark green. I love it, it's so cool. I was really happy with my makeup today. I don't wear makeup though. I kind of feel on the normal day I can't devote the time to doing my makeup because I feel like there's no reason to because I'm going out, and I also really like my hair. And it stayed in really well. Anyway, that's not the point. I did. So, to the books. That's not a new one, that's what I was reading on the bus on the way up. I'll start with my, I might just do this in one part. I was doing with my ones I got in Amsterdam. We've got Vincent van Gogh, Gough. Everyone says it differently. Creative inspiration. Basically it's quotes from his letters he wrote next to either a drawing, or most of them are drawings, but some of them are paintings. And I'm really enjoying this. I keep writing one in my diary for every day I write in my diary. It's also making me more accountable to writing in my diary because I'm like, oh, I want to read one of these, so I'm going to put it in my diary. And his writing was really lovely. There is a book that contains his letters. I might buy that at some point when I finish with this because his writing is lovely. And then I also got Anne Frank, Dreaming, Thinking and Writing. This contains, I'll show you. Inside it contains parts from her diaries and also interviews with other people, but in amongst that are pictures of them, where they lived, or pictures from the time contextualising everything that happened in Europe in that time. This is a fascinating book. I really enjoyed it so far. I've read, oh great, the bookmark just fell out. Don't think I got that far. I think I finished, yeah, I've read the first 60 or so pages. So yeah, that was really good. And then today I went into a Waterstones. I was like, oh, I'll just have a look around. This was the damage. It might not look like much, but it's £50. Okay, let's start with the only one I've heard of. This is Tin Man by Sarah Winman. I've been wanting this for the last year and a half. At least a year. It's got all those stickers on it. Oh, it came off, yay. I first heard about this on Jen Campbell's channel. She was completely talking about it and loving it. I much preferred her cover to this one. And then I've had a lot of other people talk about it recently. I think it's just being released in the US, or it's just about to be released in the US. So I'm really excited. I'll just read the blurb. It begins with two boys, Ellis and Michael, who are inseparable. And the boys become men, and then Annie walks into their lives, and it changes nothing and everything. I've just heard that it's beautiful and kind of heartbreaking, and I've just heard it's a beautiful story, and I've wanted it for a long time. And then I'll do the two short, small books. Maybe might even class them as novellas. There. This one's 94 pages long, and this one is 103 pages long. So these are really short, but I was really intrigued by both of them. The first one I picked up of these two was The Invention of Morel by Adolfo Bioy Caceres. I'm sorry, I've just butchered his name. He's an Argentinian author, and it was translated from the Spanish. I believe it's Spanish. This was being written in It was translated by Ruth L.C. Sims. And this just sounded interesting. This fantastic exploration of virtual realities, lots of it compared to other people, it is both a story of suspense and a bizarre romance in which every detail is at once crystal clear and deeply mysterious. I just thought it sounded really cool, and I've been craving some short books at the moment and I've not been reading them. And then we have this one. Oh, and this one I discovered. I read the introduction on the bus home. This one has pictures in it. I love a good, it's got drawings. I love a good drawing. 33 Revolutions by, I've chosen 3 of these are translated works, so I'm going to be butchering the names. This is by, I saw this one upstairs in Waterstones in Canterbury. A lot of other books just looked really cool. Canek Sanchez Guevara is a candid and moving story about the disappointments of a generation that fully believed in the ideals of the Castro Revolution. It is a unique look into lives of ordinary people in Cuba over the past 5 decades and the stylish work of fiction about a young man's awakening. Okay, this one was translated from the Spanish by Howard Curtis. I don't know if this was translated from the Spanish or the Portuguese. I know in Brazil it's Portuguese they speak, because that's what my great aunt speaks, she's Brazilian. I'm never sure what country speaks Spanish and which speak Portuguese. And this just looks really beautiful, and I read like the first page and the writing was really nice, and this is not going to take me long, the writing is quite large. And then the last of my translated works, I've actually got another book by this press, which I think is actually down here. And I think these are actually numbered. Yeah, I've got number 5 and number 7 now, apparently. The other one I had is The Impossible Fairy Tale by Hang Yu-ju, which is translated by Janet Tong. But what I bought today, I knew it was going to be by the same press because it has the same logo for the title. The Devil's Dance by Hamid Ismailov and translated from the Uzbekistan. Uzbek? How do you say it? Uzbekistan? He's in Uzbekistan in author basically. And translated by Donald Rayfield. I was drawn to it because of the publishing house, I will admit to start with, because I've not yet read that one, but I'm so excited to read that. This is quite a big book, this is about 400 pages long. Okay, I'll just read the second part of, it's not the actual synopsis, but it's kind of what describes the novel and what really drew me in. Hamid Ismailov's virtuosic prose recreates this multilingual milieu in a digressive, intricately structured novel dense with allusions, studded with quotes and sayings, and threaded through with modern and classical poetry. With this poignant, loving resurrection of both a culture and a literary canon brutally suppressed by a dictatorship which continues today, Ismailov demonstrates yet again his masterful marriage of contemporary international fiction and Central Asian literary traditions and his deserved positions in the pantheon of both. I was just really intrigued. It's set in the 1930s in what was then the USSR. And I don't know, I was just really drawn in by the synopsis. And all these, but this has again a gorgeous cover. I love the cover on this as well. It's 33 Revolutions and it's also got a record and the record revolves. Just made me really happy. And then the last one, this is a kind of a massive bit of novel. Overland by Graham Rawley. And the tagline is, everyone deserves a little piece of heaven. And the book is read this way up. I read the first chapter on the us home, and it seems to skip between narratives. And it's kind of bound in this really interesting way. And you kind of read it like this. And you have a narrative for, you can't say this, over, and narrative for under. And you read it like this, which is the weirdest thing ever, but also I love anything that's formatted slightly differently, because when you read so many books, everything the same, it can be kind of boring. I have to read the synopsis for this one though, to try and get my head around it. Welcome to Overland, where California sun shines down on synthetic grass and plastic oranges bedeck the trees all year round. Steam billows gently from the chimney tops, and the blue tarpaulin lake is open for fishing. Hollywood set designer George Godfrey has been called on to do his patriotic duty, and he doesn't believe in half measures. If he's going to hide an American aircraft plant from the threat of Japanese aerial spies, he has an almighty job on his hands. He will need an army of props and actors to make the Lockheed factory vanish beneath the semblance of a suburban town. Every day his residents climb through a trapdoor to the factory roof to shift model cars, shop for imaginary groceries, and rotate fake sheep in felt green meadows. Overland is a beacon for the young woman labouring below it at Queenie, dreaming of movie stardom while welding sheet metal. Kay, who must seek refuge from the order to intern all persons of Japanese ancestry. Meanwhile, George's right-hand resident, Jimmy, knows that High Command aren't at all happy with the camouflage project. With George so bewitched by his own illusion, might it risk confusing everyone, not just the enemy? I took this to the Tale of the Man, he said, was really excited about this. It was like, as soon as I read about it, I had to stock it. I don't know. It also got a beautiful cover. Can we just talk about that? So yes, all together, £50. That's me done now. I've also got a book I want. So that might be it. Apart from I want to buy Circe by Madeline Miller, apart from then I have to ban myself from the purchase of books. And also I need to start reading my own books, not just my library books. So I need to get on with all of that. So yes, that's it. I'm just going to sit and read for a bit, because after physio I always feel exhausted and kind of fragile. And then I'll do some schoolwork later. Yes, that's my plan. It's not fall asleep just yet, though I'm considering it. Like, it's hitting me now. I've kind of sat down and rested that I'm really tired. So yeah, I'm going to go before I fall asleep.